Hey everybody, how you doing? Bruce Major here with the Major Home Team and Realty One Group Freedom, and this is Lunch with the Yankee Realtor. Hey, yesterday we talked to a loan officer about the different types of loans that are out there and available to you, so you can get funding to purchase a home. And once you've already established that and you've established a budget that you can look in and search for a home with, and you know the terms and the type of loan that you're going to use, then, well, now it's time to go and search for a home. Okay? So up until now, I really haven't done much of anything except maybe give you some references. So you really have not been what we call a client. You've only been a customer. If you want me to represent you, then you have to become a client, in which case you need to sign documents saying that you would want me to represent you in a transaction to buy a home. And so because of that, you need to be made aware of the different types of agency that's out there. An agency is the kind of relationship, so here we're going to talk about your relationship now. The kind of relationship that you have with the brokerage, okay? The contract that you sign is actually with the brokerage and not with me personally. I represent that brokerage, Realty One Group, but your contract is with the actual brokerage. In case something ever should happen to me, you can still purchase a home. There's still somebody there to help you and to see you through the whole transaction. So this brokerage relationship that you have, I call different agency relationships. There's a single agency relationship where there is only one person that's being represented, and that is you, a single agency. No other person in our brokerage represents the other side, the seller side. And in this particular case, because you're the buyer, no one represents the seller side. And then another one is a dual agency, and that's where somebody from our brokerage does represent the seller side, and I will represent the buyer side. And in some cases, if I have a home listed, you may want to purchase the home that I have listed. And so I will be a dual agent. And we're obviously, I represent, both sides are being represented by the same brokerage. And in a situation like that, my duties are kind of limited. My duties always will include confidentiality on both sides, and also they'll always include fairness and trust, and what your motivations are will still remain confidential. What their motivations are will remain confidential. What your price is, how much you're willing to pay, or how much they're willing to sell for, it always remains confidential because I represent interest of both. However, some of my other duties will be limited because I represent both, and you can understand there could be a conflict of interest. So that could be limited. And then if that makes you uncomfortable, there could be what they call a designated agency. And a designated agency is where the brokerage will still represent both sides, but they'll designate a licensee, myself and someone else, to represent each side. So it avoids that conflict of interest from that single point person who might have that home. Most often, I've handled several dual agencies situations, and there's never been any kind of problems or anything that's ever come up. So we're a very professional brokerage, I'm very professional in what I do, and I'm always I'm guided by a higher power to always, be honest and truthful. So upon first beginning this process, I would have a document for you to sign. So you would need to sign that document in order for us to move forward and acknowledge that you've received this and understand the different agency designations. All right, so you've signed the agency agreement. You've asked me to be and signed a document for me to be your representative in this transaction. And now we go and search for homes. There are basically two different places to go search for homes on the internet. The first one is Realtor.com and Zillow and those other search engines that anybody can have access to. Those search engines are convenient and they're somewhat helpful. However, they're not always the most accurate because they rely on the information coming from the multiple listing service, okay, which is the official site, the official place to look for homes. And it's they need to continuously update their information to whatever the MLS says, and they might not have time or people or staff, whatever, so their information could be lacking. So you might be looking at a home on Zillow and then find out it's already sold or it's already under contract, okay, or it's not really that price. And they also have a very skewed idea of the value of homes as well. So most likely, most realtors, I go straight to the MLS system for the most accurate and most up-to-date current information on any homes that might be available for sale. I have access to the Greenville MLS system, which covers all of Greenville County. I have access to the Anderson MLS system, which covers all of Anderson County, and also the Spartanburg MLS system, which covers all of Spartanburg. So I have access to a lot of houses. So when you're going to look for a home, some of the questions, first and foremost will be location. That's why I need to know where to look, okay? If you wanted to move out in Anderson, I look in one, Greenville another, and Spartanburg area another one. So you have to, you come up with the idea of where you want to live according to whether the school system, how close it is to your work, and so forth and so on, whatever it is that motivates you to want to live there. So I'll also ask you other questions that are obvious, number of bedrooms and bathrooms. Do you want one level living? Is it 2-story okay? Do you need to have the master on the main? Do you have, you want in-law accommodations? There's like a whole host of different questions that I could ask you, a whole host of things that information I get from you, so I can narrow down my search to find just the right home that you're looking for and the price range that you can afford, and use those the MLS system primarily to find that house for you. And in addition to that, that's looking on the internet for a home, and when I find one, I will I'll collect a few of them and I'll email them to you, and then you can look at them at your leisure. And then when you view them and you feel that you want to see this one and this one and this one, you send me a text and I will set up appointments for us to go and see inside. So keep in mind that I can get inside just about every house in the upstate that's for sale because I'm a licensed realtor, and I have a program on my phone that allows me to access the electronic lock boxes that are used. Electronic lock boxes are used to protect us when we go in, and also to protect the seller, because it's documented when I open that door and when I close that door, or should I say when I access the key and when I return the key. That time frame has been documented, and we'll know who is being accessed in that house. So if something should happen, it protects us and it protects the seller. Always know who's in the house and when they're in there and how long. So in addition to that, I can access other doors that have a code where I call the seller agent, and I will get information about that too. So there's pretty much any house I can get into in the South Carolina that is, in the upstate that is for sale. Okay, that's a internet search type of way of finding a home. Now, there's another way too, and that is an app that I have that you can download. I text it to you, and then you download it onto your phone, and it uses your GPS. So the app always knows where you are. So if you're out doing some house hunting, you and your family decide, hey, it's a beautiful sunny day, we want to go out and we want to search different areas and find a home. And so you start driving around and you find a subdivision that you like, and you're like, wow, yeah, this is great. I love this house. How much is it? Well, you turn on the app, and as soon as it knows where you are, so as soon as you turn it on, it's going to show you that house, and it's going to show you the price. It's going to show you pictures. It's going to show you all the pertinent information about that house. And you might look at that house and say, yeah, this is it. I want to see it. Or you might look at that house and say, no, I don't want this house because of this, that, and the other thing, but I'd like to know what else is around here. So you just hit the little list button, and it'll flip through everything that's within that very same location. And you can hit a map. There's a map button that tells you where they are as well. And so you will be able to search on your own first, right up front, right there in the neighborhood, and see if that's what you like. And that app is great. All you have to do is just text me, please send me the app to 864-361-5144, and I'll send that app. I'll send it up to you. I'll send it to anybody. It doesn't even matter if you're looking for a house right now. I'll just send it to you, and you can play with the app. My contact information is on there. It's like sending you a business card. So if you want to see it, you hit, contact agent, and that'll go straight to me, and I'll know that you want to see a house, and we'll set it up and we'll go in. So that's just a few of the ways that I use to help people find a home of their dreams. And our next step would be going inside a home. Okay, and I'd like to say that for, let's see, today's Friday. I think I'm going to post that on Monday. I think I'm going to keep this a business day lunch time. Okay, Saturdays and Sundays. Sundays church, obviously. Saturdays, I got stuff to do, yard work, that sort of thing. And so, so Monday I'll post again with lunch with the Yankee Realtor, and yeah, I look forward to to doing that for you. And please, if you like this and share it and make comments, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, God bless you and God bless America.